There's an increase in interest in coming to produce and shoot in Qatar. It's early days, but you can definitely see the trend moving in an upward trend.
We're celebrating 70 years of goofballery in the desert, really. 70 years of Doha Players putting on plays, doing music, creating a family of theater people in the desert.
Hello, welcome to Qatar 365 with me, Adil Halim. On this episode, we continue to explore entertainment options across the country. Johanna Hoos went behind the scenes with Qatar's longest-running English theater group, the Doha Players, and I sat down with old-school R&B singer Case during his first visit to the region. But first, I went on location with Qatar Studios, the ambitious production house set to be the audiovisual leader in the Middle East. This is a behind-the-scenes clip from one of Qatar Studios' TV productions, a multilingual English and Arabic sci-fi fantasy series called Medina. Now, the Qatari film and music production house is scaling up its filmmaking and original Arabic content production with 4 feature films and 2 TV shows in the pipeline.
Well, look, you have 450 million Arabic speakers in the MENA region. You have another 50 million that live internationally, the diaspora. So we have 500 million Arabic speakers, and we don't have nearly enough content for them, and especially not premium content. So, you know, we've really sort of entered the golden age of content creation for the Arabic-speaking world. They want to see the blockbusters, they want to see those drama TV series. So all of that currently is, you know, there's a race on at the moment, and the race is to create that content that's going to sort of satisfy that market, but also break through internationally. So that's the gap we're trying to fill right now.
Hussein Fakhri believes Qatar Studios will be able to produce those blockbuster films in the next 3 to 5 years. The full-service studio bills itself as a one-stop shop for premium content, from ideation to writing, development, production, and post-production. What's next? Develop more homegrown talent.
We have some great talent here already, but there's not enough. We need a bigger pool of talent. There's definitely a bottleneck when it comes to writing and development for Arabic language content. We need more writers, we need more developers. There's a shortage. This commercial production is one of many ways Qatar Studios is diversifying its offering. After putting itself on the global entertainment map by producing the FIFA soundtrack and the opening and closing ceremonies of the Qatar 2022 World Cup, the content studio is keeping the momentum going by producing feature films, TV series, docu-series, and even music videos. Cynthia Abu Khalil and her crew are in the midst of a 4-day commercial shoot for a real estate company. Creating narratives and telling a story is a lifelong passion project for the executive producer.
For me, I have been in love with commercials since I was a kid, so this is my passion, to be honest. And lately, we've been doing like music videos, starting from the World Cup, Asian Cup, you know, all of the above. So it was something that nice as a twist, because it's super fast, super interesting, super stressful, but it's the adrenaline rush, you know.
Cynthia believes Qatar Studios is not just a production house, but a creative hub, and that creativity gets put to the test, whether it's always trying to find new filming locations or figuring out workarounds during Qatar's scorching summers. Challenges aside, she's seen more and more international brands look to Qatar, even well after the 2022 FIFA World Cup.
People are coming to Qatar, you know, to film. People are here not because of the World Cup only. They saw Qatar, and it has everything. You can do anything here. And the filming industry here also is growing, you know, and it's beautiful to see that even after the World Cup, we saw an actual growth in the media and people coming here. Brands, they want to come film here, like international brands, you know. You couldn't find that before. We are self-sufficient in terms of media.
In the 90s and early 2000s, American R&B singer Case was a certified hitmaker, making timeless classics that have stood the test of time. I recently caught up with the Grammy-nominated singer during his first visit to the region for a nostalgic trip down memory lane and to find out what he's working on now. Case, welcome to Doha. It's your first time here. What are your first impressions?
I love it. It's beautiful. It's a little hot for me, but it's real pretty. I like it. We're having a good time.
Now, it's also your first time in the region. Were you surprised to see so many Case fans here?
I was extremely surprised. That surprised my mother because she was like, "Well, they listen to R&B in the Middle East." So when I got here, I was showing her little stuff like I had notes from the hotel. I'm like, "See," she was like, "Oh, I guess that answers my question."
So with the love that you're receiving from the fans, from the hotel, what does that tell you about music's ability to bring people and cultures together?
It tells me what I've always known, that good music brings everybody together because everybody has the same feelings. No matter what you believe, no matter where you're from, no matter how much money you have, we all have the same feeling. We're all human. And if you can translate that into music, you'll touch, people from all over, because we all have the same feelings and emotions that we go through.
Early in your career, you said you hoped your music would last 20, 30 years, and clearly it has. What's the secret to making timeless classics?
Well, for me, it was to not follow trends. It was to be honest with it, and not do what's hot right now, but to deal with real feelings, real emotions, real situations, because those things never go out of style. People are always going to miss somebody. People are always going to be in love. People are always going to fall out of love. They're going to break up. Those things are always going to be part of the human condition. So if you can capture that, then I felt like I could do that.
And you've done that. So you got 2 Grammy nominations. You've worked with Mary J. You worked with Faith Evans. You had a young Beyonce in your video. Grammy nomination with Ja Rule.
Yeah.
That's an incredible career.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I'm blessed. I'm thankful for it. Yeah. A lot of it's more than I expected, but I'm thankful for all of it.
Speaking of first time, what was it like the first time you heard your music on the radio?
It's funny. People ask me that all the time. It didn't matter to me. It still doesn't. It's more exciting for me to be standing somewhere and a car drives past playing the music. Because you can pay to get a song on the radio. You can't pay for people to like it and ride around playing it. So that's more exciting for me.
And you're still recording, so tell me what you're working on now.
Well, I'm done. I have a new project called Love Jones Volume 2. And a new single called Naked that's out now with RL from Next and Raheem Devon. And so we're going to put out another single probably about the end of the year.
And what advice do you have for young musicians watching on how they can navigate their career?
I would say the first thing they should know and have in the front of their mind is that to have an idea of who they want to be and make sure that you stick to that. Because there's going to be tons of people who have an idea of what you should be. The problem with that is a lot of those people, if it fails, they can go get another person. You only get one you.
Right.
So you have to know who you want to be and kind of try to stick to that as much as possible.
All right, Case, thank you for joining
Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Thank you, Doha.
From world-class film and TV productions to an internationally acclaimed musician and actors for whom performing is a passion, not a profession, Johanna Hu's caught up with the Doha Players, the amateur theater group that has been stealing the spotlight in Qatar for the past 70 years.
Tonight's applause looks a little different for the Doha Players. Members of the theatre group are on stage, but there are no costumes or even a play. Instead, the audience has come to this ballroom to celebrate not 1, but 7 decades of performances at the amateur drama community's 70th anniversary gala in Qatar.
The 70th anniversary of Doha Players.
We're celebrating 70 years of goofballery in the desert, really. 70 years of Doha Players putting on plays, doing music, creating a family of theater people in the desert. An expat plus local community that everybody can feel at home.
With a black tie dress code, banquet dinner and ballroom backdrop, the scene is set for a glamorous anniversary night. But the Doha Players' beginnings were much more humble. When the theatre group first took to the stage in the 1950s, it did so in an old furniture shop in Souk Waqif. Much has changed since those early days, but what hasn't is the Doha Players' penchant for performing.
In 1954, some expats who were working here with one of the oil and gas companies said, why don't we get together and put on some plays? And so they kind of eked out a little space down in the souk and started doing plays. Nowadays, of course, the costumes and the special effects and lighting and everything is so much more advanced than what we would have had in the 50s.
With volunteers from over 40 different countries, the Doha Players are a creative melting pot, welcoming theatre enthusiasts from all walks of life. From set designers and sound operators to actors and makeup artists, the non-profit group offers a community for Doha residents wishing to dedicate their time to drama.
Doha Players has an increase of volunteers from all nations, and that's been a real joy because they have so much to offer, not just as what they can culturally give to us, but also individually of what they can give to us. People working on set, people working on props, people working on costumes, people working on light and sounds, where you have the directors, the choreographer, the musical directors, and it's a great family.
Whether it's classic plays or modern musicals, the Doha Players stage performances of all theatrical genres. Neil McBride is the director of Little Shop of Horrors, one of the group's upcoming productions about a man-eating plant that tries to take over the world.
Little Shop of Horrors is a horror comedy, I think it can be described as. Doing different shows is just an amazing experience because you meet so many people from all over the world. You have a laugh, you have shared experiences, you have long days, you have tough challenges, but you all come together at the end of it. And there's no better feeling than seeing an audience go out of this theatre having had an amazing experience, and you know all of your hard work was worth every effort.
And if it's up to the Doha Players, that hard work will continue for decades, and their final curtain won't fall for another 70 years to come.
From backstage at a community theater to on location for a TV commercial production, we explored several sides of the entertainment business, from those who produce it to those who perform it. We hope you enjoyed this episode, but that's all the time we have for now. For more, check out Euronews.com and connect with us through our hashtag. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Qatar 365.